There's a moment before every goodbye, when you stop talking but you haven't moved yet, and something inside you whispers, this isn't worth explaining anymore. Most people miss that moment. But if you're someone who feels deeply, who overthinks, who tries too hard to make things right, you've felt it, like a quiet earthquake inside your chest. It's not a loud realization. It's not anger. It's not defeat. It's clarity. You look at the person in front of you, someone you've argued with, explained yourself to, cried for, hoped for, and you realize something darkly powerful. My words don't matter here. And the human heart knows when it's no longer being held. It knows when the space between two people becomes too tight for truth to live in. That's when the shift happens. The moment the conversation no longer feels like communication, but survival. You stop defending. You stop explaining. You stop begging to be understood. And inside your silence, something ancient awakens. The instinct to protect yourself. Because before you walk away physically, you walk away emotionally. And that is the part they never see coming. Words are powerful until they're not. Most conversations don't fall apart because the truth is complicated. They fall apart because the listener isn't interested in hearing it. When someone wants to misunderstand you, no explanation will ever be enough. You try to express how you feel, but they twist your intention. You try to be honest, but they call it an overreaction. You open your heart, but they respond with dismissal. Talking becomes exhausting. You repeat the same things over and over, hoping that this time they'll finally get it. But here's the dark psychology behind it. Some people don't want clarity. They want control. The more you explain, the more you reveal. The more you reveal, the more they use against you. With the wrong person, your honesty becomes ammunition. And suddenly you realize something painful. You're not having a conversation. You're explaining your existence to someone who doesn't care. That's why walking away works. Because it's the first time you stop giving them the power your words once offered. Silence is one of the most uncomfortable experiences the human brain can encounter. It's unpredictable. It's ambiguous. It forces introspection. When people expect an argument and they get nothing, the quiet becomes deafening. The mind starts to race. What are they thinking? Are they angry? Did I go too far? Why aren't they responding? When you stop talking, you disrupt the emotional script the other person was relying on. They were expecting resistance. They were expecting you to justify yourself. They were expecting the old version of you. The one who tried, who cared, who explained. But your silence removes their control. It removes their ability to manipulate your words. It forces them into a psychological void. And people fear voids more than they fear truth. Because silence is a mirror, not for you, but for them. In silence, they see everything they didn't want to face. Their own behavior, their mistakes, their patterns, and the consequences they never thought would arrive. And that's why silence is feared, because it makes people listen to what they forced you to swallow. When you walk away, something profound happens. You break the cycle. You stop participating in the emotional tug-of-war. You stop dancing around their defensiveness. You stop feeding a situation that was starving you emotionally. But more importantly, you break their power. Because the moment you walk away, you stop reacting. And when someone loses your reaction, they lose control over you. People underestimate walking away because it looks passive, quiet, non-confrontational. But dark psychology reveals the truth. Walking away is dominance without aggression. It is strength without shouting. It is clarity without conflict. It is power without performance. You're not fighting. You're not persuading. You're not pleading. You're choosing. And choice is more powerful than any argument could ever be. When you walk away, you don't just leave the conversation. You leave the version of yourself they thought they could control. Detachment isn't coldness. It's clarity earned through pain. When you step back from the noise, you see everything differently. You see the manipulation you once excused. You see the disrespect you once normalized. You see the imbalance you once tolerated. You see the truth you once avoided because caring felt easier than confronting. Distance gives you a higher vantage point, and from there, patterns become obvious. The blame shifting, the invalidation, the emotional pressure, the expectations placed on you that were never reciprocated. People always show you who they are, but you have to step back to see the full picture. And once you do, you can never unsee it. Detachment is not the absence of feelings, it's the presence of self-respect. And sometimes, the moment you detach is the moment you finally understand why talking never worked. Silence is often mistaken for indifference. But in dark psychology, silence is the emotional equivalent of a mirror held to someone's face. When you argue, they focus on your tone. When you explain, they focus on your words. When you cry, they focus on your emotions. But when you go silent, they're forced to focus on themselves. That is what hurts, not the quiet, but what the quiet reveals. People can dismiss your words. They can deny your feelings. They can reject your truth, but they cannot control your silence, and they cannot escape what your silence reflects. Silence shows them the weight of their actions. It shows them the consequence of their behavior. It shows them what life looks like without your emotional labor. And that realization is far more painful than anything you could have said. Oh, talking doesn't always solve problems. In fact, with certain types of people, talking makes things worse. There are people who listen to respond, not understand. Twist your words intentionally. Mock. Minimize your feelings. Shift blame instantly. Treat your honesty as weakness. Weaponize your vulnerabilities. Thrive on emotional chaos. These are the conversations where talking becomes self-harm. You walk in hoping to be understood, and you walk out feeling misunderstood on purpose. The more you talk, the more they distort. The more you explain, the more they deny. The more you open up, the more they close off. And every time you return to the conversation, you're not seeking clarity. You're seeking validation from someone incapable of giving it. And that's why walking away becomes necessary. Not for punishment, but for protection. Oh, something powerful happens after you walk away. Your mind finally breathes. All the tension you carried in your chest, all the confusion you tried to explain, all the emotional fog you called love or loyalty, it begins to lift. You start sleeping better, thinking clearer, feeling lighter. You begin to see how much you were carrying and how little they were contributing. Distance reveals the emotional weight you normalized, the anxiety you accepted as normal, the disrespect you endured because you cared too much. With space comes truth. With truth comes healing. Walking away isn't running, it's returning to yourself. And for the first time, you realize peace was never found in the conversation. It was found in the exit. Oh, most people assume the one who walks away is the one who hurts. But dark psychology reveals something different. Your silence hurts the person who relied on your reactions. Your distance hurts the person who fed on your attention. Your absence hurts the person who believed you'd always return. Your walking away doesn't break the relationship. It exposes it. The right people respect your boundaries. The wrong people fear them. The right people check on you. The wrong people chase control. Your silence reveals everything. Who loved you, who used you, who valued you, and who valued the version of you that kept them comfortable. The only people angry about your boundaries are the ones who benefited from you having none. Oh, here's the final truth. Walking away is not the end of the story. It's the beginning of a new one. Your absence becomes a teacher to them, but more importantly, to you. You learn that peace is a choice, that your energy is sacred, that not every battle deserves your voice, that not every person deserves your explanation. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all, and the most powerful place you can be is not near them. It's with yourself. Walking away teaches you who you are without chaos, how strong you become in silence, the deity, what you deserve beyond survival, how deeply you can breathe once the noise is gone. Your absence is not emptiness, it's space. Space for healing, space for self-respect, space for the version of you that talking never allowed you to become. So maybe walking away wasn't weakness. Maybe it was the moment you finally chose yourself. And maybe that is the loudest thing you ever said.